What happens when that somebody is drunk and he knocks you out on the road? Obviously you didn't do anything, but because of his lack of reasoning at that time, because he was drunk, yes, he's unable to reason correctly, and he kills someone's son, maybe somebody's father, maybe somebody's uncle, maybe somebody's husband. Yes, that person's life is now devastated. Not only he lost his life, but his family, his community that he lived in, they all suffered some way or the other. Same thing goes with gambling. Yes, you gamble, you might start with £1, £2, you increase it, you get into debt, then you try to borrow money from your parents, you lose your relationship with them. You borrow money from your spouse, you steal sometimes, because now you're desperate to win, or you're desperate to pay somebody's debt that you have collected. You see how it messes up the life. It's like a cancer in the society which just spreads.
Do you agree that those things that were mentioned are destroying society today?
100%.
So you see, all these things that Islam has forbidden is bad for you. So tell me something that is negative that you have heard about Islam or about Muslims that will really hinder you from accepting Islam as a way of life. Nothing. So
I've got family members that are Muslim.
Alhamdulillah.
Issue with Islam. Yes. I think my main issue was that I didn't really understand the religion, and obviously,
so what question
being in this country, where obviously propaganda, all you hear is terrorist this, terrorist that. That's all you hear. So your idea about
but you know better, right?
Of course I know.
You know better. So absolutely. No, even if you were a white man or a black man, regardless of your color, if you think objectively and research these things and look at the media and look at both sides of the issue, then we will see the reality. We don't need to tell you.
I understand that it's a peaceful religion.
Yeah. So what is hindering you from accepting Islam as a way of life then?
The unknowing.
Which is what?
Not knowing that there is someone up there that is really looking after you.
Okay, why would there not be someone looking after you?
Why would there be?
Why would there be?
Yeah.
Because the world doesn't run on its own, you know that. Logically, that is impossible for all these things just to happen by itself.
Ideally, we want to believe that there's someone up there looking after us, but like ultimately, what if you die and there's nothing there?
Then you got nothing to lose. But look at the flip side of that. What if someone is there and there is a life after death and there'll be consequences after that? Who's taking the bigger gamble?
What I've always said is that I would prefer some kind of evidence.
No, wait. I'm asking you in this context. Look, you say that what if there is nobody there? What if there is no life after that? That when you die you become dust and ash or whatever it is? Yes, and that's the end of it. Look, if that was the case, you and I have got nothing to lose, do we? Yes? But now if you take the converse of that, if there is someone up there and there is going to be consequences after you die, and there is a real heaven and hell, yes, then you see who's taking the bigger gamble.
Okay, so what if somebody is living a good life? Like I said,
no, answer the question. Yeah, before I answer that, answer my question. Who's taking the bigger gamble?
The non-believer, obviously.
Yes. Now this is not just a gamble which is like won't impact you at all. This will impact you for eternity. Remember earlier I told you this life is just a temporary life and you're in transit now? Yes, this is not the end. This is not the destination. The final destination hasn't come yet. And this is the life that will begin, the true life that will become after you die, which is going to be an eternal. Allah says, Lahmadu, this is something for abadan, for eternity. Yes? And this is what you are really gambling with. This is the chance you're taking. You see, if you accept Islam and if you accept Allah as your Rabb and Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as your messenger, then you really have just said the Shahada or just accepted the Shahada, and you lead a life which is good, free from drinking alcohol, free from fornication, free from gambling, free from drugs, all this thing. Not that I'm saying you're doing all this, yes, but this is whatever Islam brings to you is not negative. It's something that is going to have a positive effect in your life. Because many people have had this impact on their life. They say that before I became a Muslim, I used to do X, Y, and Z. And now I feel awake. I feel much more respected in my society, in my family. My family said to me, how is it possible that Islam has changed you so much? Yes? So the change that you will experience is going to be a positive change. And in the hereafter, you'll be a winner. You won't have to worry about what's going to happen to me after life after death. Yeah? Now, sorry, what is the question you asked earlier?
Really forgot.
Say I live a good life or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't subscribe to any
Say he lives a good life, he didn't follow religion.
Huh?
Life's too short.
No, wait. You see, in the eyes of Allah, yes, you being a good person is you not rejecting him as your Lord and your Creator.
Being good
If I
is
don't say that
subjective.
I'm a Muslim and I do all the things that Allah wants me to do,
Yeah.
surely when I get to the gate or the door that He's waiting and I knock, hello,
Yeah.
He will let me in. Surely.
Because you see, this is not what he really told you, in the sense that yes, he will just let it be. Listen to this. Let me give you an example. Say your parents, yeah, you have in your life, you do everything good. You give charity. You basically are really good to your neighbor. You're very kind to other people. But when you come at home, you're really terrible. You reject your mom. You tell her, you're not my mom. You're not my dad. You tell your parents this. Yes? Have you really achieved a lot in your life? Yes? This is the scenario with the one who created you, your mom and your dad and you as well. He created all of you, and yet you say, I do not care about that. I'm going to lead a good life. You see, in the scenario where you were mistreating your mom or rejecting them or even acknowledging them, yes, all that goodness goes down the drain when you cannot even do the basic, i.e. respecting and honoring the very parents who brought you up.
So I can't just live a good life. I need
No.
to acknowledge the fact
You see,
that He is my Creator.
You remember earlier I told you, when you say good life is subjective. Yes?
We know
What might be good
you know
life to
You know
you?
what I mean when I say good life. Like, you know the kind of things I'm talking about. I'm talking about not committing crime, not over drinking, not gambling.
But you see, all that is, what you're saying is all that is what a Muslim does anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So why are you're basically like near paradise,
Yeah.
but then by one step, you're not taking the second step, you see? You're just taking one step.
Yeah.
You don't want to go in. What you're suggesting there is exactly what a Muslim does anyway. Yes, leading a good life, not gambling, not drinking alcohol, not fornicating, not disrespecting your parents, loving your neighbors. All these things is already what Islam is. So what you need to do is you nearly need to commit, because I don't know, for some reason you're afraid to commit. Is it family thing? Is it friends? Is it family? I don't know what it is.
I'm reluctant.
No, I said you're reluctant to commit for what? For any logical reason that.
It's just
Okay,
like
so
the
basically,
unknowing.
you know what? This procrastination we say comes from the Satan, who doesn't want you to enter the paradise. It's not convenient. This is reality. The Satan's job is to hold you and me and everybody else, yes, away from the way of Lord God Almighty and go to His way, which is eternal damnation. Logically, like I said, you have considered it. Logically, you cannot give me any rational reason why you're procrastinating from taking the Shahada or accepting Islam as your way of life. So the only other thing that I can think of is the Satan is holding you back from taking this logical step of accepting Islam as your religion.
It's hard to say. Like I said,
If there's nothing hindering you, then honestly,
like witnessing so many bad things that happen, obviously, in this world.
yeah, but you don't have to. You're not God to go and worry about everybody. What is it you're going to do?
I have to worry.
Okay, let's say you worry, and then what?
You want me to put my faith in somebody? Like, let's say I'm living a shitty life. It's proper, like,
Yeah.
like nothing is working for me.
You are too close for it.
I commit myself to Allah,
Yeah.
and my life does not improve.
Yeah, but you don't know that. You don't know that because you see, what you're saying is you're assuming it might not improve.
Yeah.
But unless you take that step and experience it, you cannot say, can you?
He's saying, what if he does take that step and
it doesn't work for him.
Yeah.
Then it is up to you and Allah. Yes? Because you see, if Allah wants to guide you, then no one in the entire universe can stop you.
Can stop you, yeah.
And if He doesn't want to guide you, then no one in the universe can make you. Even if the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ himself was here in front of you, yes, even then that wouldn't be possible. The reason for that is because hidayah and guidance is only in the hands of Allah. You see, but right now, as human beings, we can think only rationally and logically to come to this conclusion. What you have explained to me so far doesn't really compute in the sense that you don't have a rational, logical reason to reject Islam. Yes? So what I'm saying, you remember that earlier scenario I gave you, where, for example, if there is no God and there is no life after death, you and I have got nothing to lose. Because you see, I might obey all these laws, I might go about my whole life, but when I die, I realize that there is nothing. Have I lost anything? I haven't. I've led a good life without all these vices that you have in this world. Yes? And that is actually something which is a plus for me. So the only thing that I have lost is basically not going about my life and messing about my body or my community or my family. Yes? that is not really a loss. That is actually something positive. But you see, when you realize that there is a God and there is a life after that, then you, my friend, have got a lot to lose. So all you need to do is take the Shahada in the sense that you just have to say, because you already believe in God, I'm assuming.
Let's just ask you one.
Yeah.
From a religious aspect, questions you have about Islam. Obviously, he's giving you reasons why you should believe in God.
Yeah. Because if there's nothing logical, nothing rational, nothing that will harm you, that is getting in your way of accepting Islam, then the only question that arises is, why are you listening to the Satan? Why are you listening to the devil to keep you?
First of all, I didn't grow up in a Muslim household, so if I'm going to step to any religion, it's not going to be Islam first. It will probably be a more devoted Catholic before I step to Islam.
So we need to tell you why
Islam for me, I think, is a bit too intense.
How?
It just seems like there's a lot expected. The prayers, like it's
You think there's no prayers in Catholicism?
No, there is, but you don't have to do it 5 times a day.
So?
You don't have to do it 5 times.
So let me get this right. So you're saying, if you're going to become a Catholic, a believer in God, then it is only minimum like one Sunday or something like that?
Casual,
Yeah. And how is that good for you?
It's not good, but it worked for us when I was growing up.
So basically you're saying that I would rather devote as less time to God as possible. Seriously?
That is essentially what I'm saying.
But how is that benefit to you?
I will try and learn about that religion more and try and put my all into that religion.
So, what you're doing there is that you're trying to look for shortcuts.
Yeah.
Yes? Trying to lead a life which is as easy and convenient to you as possible. Let me get this right. As a Catholic, as a Catholic, you will have to believe in the Trinity, which is basically believing in a man as a God. Yes? How does that sit with you?
Against your nature.
I guess I don't
Let him answer
I
himself.
don't like to want to have to believe in anybody, to be honest. I want to believe in myself. I want to believe that it starts and stops with me.
No, it doesn't.
Anything that happens in this world, I am in control.
If that was the case, you wouldn't be living in a society. You'll be living somewhere on a mountain, in a cave, dwelling by yourself. Because whether you like it or not, your life is always linked to something else, someone else.
Yeah.
Yes? You cannot live like a hermit and say, this is my life, that's it, end of, okay?
Yeah, not necessarily even like a hermit,
You see,
but just like
but things don't stop and start with you. You will have to follow certain laws. Wait, you will have to follow certain laws.
I am the one that's in control of my life.
Not really.
If I decide to
Not
step in the
really.
middle of the road and kill myself, like I've done it.
No, but that's not how the work. If you decided to drive the car the way you want, you'll get arrested. Okay? So you cannot do things the way you like. You'll have to follow the laws, whether you like it or not, unless you really want to face the consequences of that. So don't say everything starts and stops with me. It doesn't, my friend.
But that's my belief.
That is a delusion you have.
It's not a delusion.
It is, my friend. I just told you. I gave you the example of you driving.
That's just my opinion on how I feel.
Okay, do you drive?
I do drive.
Okay, can you drive the way you want?
Yeah.
Can you really?
I tend to drive
Without consequences?
Yeah, I do.
So how many times do you jump the red light?
Several times, depends on the time of day.
Really?
Yeah.
And you think that is a good thing?
It's not a bad thing.
Okay. What if you hurt someone? Who will be responsible for that?
I would be responsible.
Okay. And who's going to face the consequences for that?
I would.
Only you?
Yeah.
Are you sure? You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
Impact my family.
No, not just your family. No, I'm not talking about your family. I'm not talking.
It will impact me.
Yes. So don't say there's no consequences, because
I didn't say there
no,
wasn't
you did.
consequences.
You said I will face the consequences.
I will face the consequences.
Yeah, but you're not the only one who's going to face the consequences. Many people will be impacted because of your recklessness. You see what I mean? The reason it is called recklessness is because you broke the law, and because you, who's supposed to be your own king, your own man, yes, that is not how the society works.
But what you're trying to do is you're trying to take some kind of a negative outcome where this chap hits somebody with a car and say that
Well,
has
he
a
does
knock-on
drive.
effect. Hear me out. That has a knock-on effect, which is true. And then you're trying to relate that to somebody not making a decision to devote their life to religion, which doesn't necessarily have a knock-on effect on anybody else. If you're an honest person, you live your life with integrity. Just because you don't dedicate your life to Islam or Christianity or Catholicism, it doesn't mean that you're a negative person. And also, it doesn't mean that it's not going to have some kind of a negative effect on other people. If you're an honest person, most likely it's going to have a positive effect on society.
And how do you know what is negative and positive? Who decides that?
It's subjective.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. So what I'm saying is that for people to come to a common understanding and a common agreement is that there has to be someone who is the arbitrator, who is an arbitrator that understands us better than anyone else.
So who's the arbitrator?
God for me. I don't know who it is for you, but it is important. I'm assuming you're an atheist or an agnostic. Agnostic. That's fine. He's also an agnostic. So this is. I'm not saying that I'm trying. What I was saying is I was giving him an analogy of any system that you live in, which has laws. There will be rules which you have to follow, whether you like it or not. Okay? And this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is going to make you positive or negative. All I was saying is that you will have to abide by laws. And I would rather abide by the law that God has, the Creator has set for me, because for me that is what defines as being the ultimate authority in terms of what is good for me and what is bad for me. Yes? It's because of this guy. He's talking about glasses right now. Just kidding. All right. So what I'm saying is that, you see, we think that we can do anything and anytime we can do it. Yes? You cannot, my friend. You will have to face consequences whether you like it or not. Yes? So you cannot in a society live as a hermit. Yes? You will have to live within the society and within the laws of the society.
Okay.
Yes?
Cool. I'm happy to do that.
Yes.
I don't have to subscribe to religion.
However, you'll be surprised how many laws in the society are based on religion. Yes?
Some of them are just common sense.
That's what you think. Common sense is not that common, my friend. Yes? Like like I said, many things in this life are subjective. Yes? Look, if everyone has to follow their own whims and desires, and we'll surely have chaos. In every society, that thought or that ideology takes root. Because everyone, like I said, is distinct. Human beings are distinct. They all have different understanding of what is good and bad. Yes. If you ask me, have I actually done mistakes in my life? I'll say yes. And if I ask you the same question, you'll probably say yes as well. Everybody makes mistakes. Yes. So we have to basically come to an understanding that who is it that doesn't make mistakes? Who is it that basically tells us and commands us what is good and what is forbidden? What is good for us and what is bad for us? And for us, the understanding is this, that all this universe did not create itself. Neither did it come from nothing. What is the other alternative? It must have come from something. So for you as an agnostic and you as an agnostic, I want you to research on your own, yes, as to what is this something? Where did this come from? You see, human intellect and logic is something, it is something, there has to be some impact of indoctrination from within the society, but then we human beings can rise above that and we can think for ourselves. Be objective, be sincere with your thoughts and with your understanding. Because you see, there's something I believe which is a fitra, which is a natural disposition, which every human being has from the time they are born until they die. Yes? You see, every time you want to do something that is bad, even though you might not be religious, your inner self is telling you don't do that. Your initial thought would be to avoid that. Yes? Yeah, your consciousness. Where is this coming from? Why do we not see this any other beings like the animals kingdom, for example? Yes? For them, it is survival. It is basically just their, their instincts which kick in. Yes? Where is my next meal going to come from? How I'm going to protect my children? Something like that, you know?
But isn't that all learned?
There are elements of that.
Yeah, there is. No, look, we are not about exceptions here. We are talking generally between animal kingdom and human life. There is a big difference. Yes, the animals have not created language and civilization like the way we have. Yes, that's why we have a different responsibility, and that I say to both people who are believers in God and believers who are not believers in God, that this responsibility includes this planet. This includes your body. This includes your family, your neighbors, everything. And this all is within Islam. You see, every teaching of Islam, it encompasses your entire life. Not only like it is for the Arabs or for the non-Arabs or for the black or the white or the rich or the poor. Yes? You know what is considered as being someone of a higher status in Islam? It is your piety, it is your taqwa, your fear and your belief in God. Fear in the sense that you do what God has told you to do and you stay away from what God has told you not to do. And what has God forbidden you? Everything that is mainly bad for you in your life.
No, but one of the things is that you adhere to, you've got a set of rules of things that are bad for you. you know, let's say alcohol and
Yes.
tobacco, I heard you talk about earlier on.
Yes.
I'm on a plant-based diet, and you know, there are various
Sorry,
medical
a
studies
plant-based.
Vegan.
I'm not vegan. I'm on a plant-based diet.
What does that mean?
I don't eat meat. I don't eat
You don't?
Don't consume animal products. Don't eat meat. There are things that.
They're not vegan.
Vegan? Is it not vegan? No.
How is so you eat
What do you
eggs?
call it?
So you eat eggs?
No, I don't eat eggs.
So how is it different from vegan?
Oh
Then?
my
would say that I'm
God.
vegan, but I'm on a
Labels,
plant-based diet.
labels.
No, it's important
Let him
to.
live his life.
No, it's important to know
But
what
one
is.
of the things is you say, okay, you know, you do this, it's toxic. You know, if you drink alcohol, it's toxic. Which I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke. Exercise regularly. You need to talk about exercise.
There's nothing wrong in that. Islam allows that.
Meat's really bad for you. Meat gives you cancer.
Meat gives you cancer.
It does. It's
Really?
a fact.
Have you got any? Have you got any evidence for that?
Peer-reviewed medical studies. I'm going to come along next week with printed out medical studies and I'll stand around reading them to you.
Pork gives you cancer.
Why?
It's not just pork. It's not just pork. It's all meat. You know, especially
When you say when you say eating, so how much meat you need to eat in order to get in order to basically be infected with some sort of cancer? Any amount? Okay.
with antibiotics.
Close it with respect.
What do you make of all those millions and billions of people who do not have cancer and they eat meat?
Brother, thank you for your time.
No problem. What's your name, my friend?
Richard.
Richard. Okay.
Richard, the
So anyway,
rapper.
think about it and do not procrastinate. Because if your intellect and your logic tells you, then
Brother, thank you for your time.
think about it and research it, inshallah.
Because you're a microbial individual, right? There's more bacteria in your gut than people who have ever existed on the planet.
No, I'm asking you, what about the billions of people?
So I'm getting
Yeah,
to that
yeah.
point. And so the way in which disease, you know, things like cancer and other disease start, they
Yeah.
start with you know, a cell dividing in the wrong way. And so it's a chance thing. But if you feed your body things that are toxic, that are not good for your gut, that's not good for your immune system, then you increase the risk of that happening.
How is meat toxic?
Full of antibiotics. It's the dead flesh of the
Well, are you saying meat is full of antibiotics, which harm your body?
Yeah.
Right. So what happens to all those billions of people who are not impacted by these antibiotics?
You understand how disease works, right? You don't just, it's not like every single person that eats something will get cancer. Every single person that smokes cigarettes will get cancer.
No, if it's toxic, if it's toxic,
Toxicity is something that builds up over time. You're trying to get to one extreme and say,
no, it's not an extreme. I'm talking about billions of people who do not